Hi Marcy folks, this is Elina. Today I want to talk about a very important topic for artists, and not only for artists. I think it goes for everybody out there, that we've got one precious life and it is really worth it to start doing what you really want to do. First of all, subscribe to this channel and hit thumbs up to this video, just a quick reminder, because that's gonna help the YouTube algorithm. And let's move on talking about being creative, being artistic, being the real you, and finding your utmost vocation and finding your real passion. You know, I noticed that when we are not doing what we love, we are actually miserable. We are unhappy. I think one of the biggest problems of everyone out there is this tendency to kind of pausing your life. We love thinking, when I finish school, this project, when I do this, maybe next year, when I finish the year, when I finish the season, blah, 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 then I'm going to start that life I want to live. Is this familiar to any of you? Have you gotten these thoughts? That we kind of postpone the life that we want to live and we then never start. Sometimes there is this feeling that these things don't depend on us. But in reality, in most of the cases, they in fact do. We just don't want to confess this to ourselves. It is kind of tempting to hide from our own selves while living in this wrapped mode. In this mode, we're probably not very happy, we are anxious, something is bothering us, and we are not really at our best. Something is off. And temporarily, it seems like it's not a big deal, it's okay, but it tends to kind of transform itself into a tale of issues, and it keeps dragging behind us. All these problems, they are still there, and there are more and more, so it accommodates over the years or decades when these issues are not solved. But there is another version of each of us. The most efficient one, the most optimized one, the one that can actually do all these things that we want to do and enjoy the process. Some people call it the genius mode. It's when you're at your absolute best. It's when the ideas and solutions arrive and all. It can in fact happen when we are not at work, when we are actually doing something else, when we are jogging, taking a nap, walking around, when the mind is not at its full focus. However, the most crucial thing is letting this genius mode be free and letting it guide us. It will help you find and start what it is that you absolutely want to do. You know, when you're doing something that makes you feel that life is interesting every single minute. You know, the vocation doesn't come when you're desperately searching for it. It comes into a full, interesting life. Of course, if you let it be full and interesting. Sometimes we really want to start something and we never begin. And it's impossible to know why precisely, even when it's not some kind of a huge project. So I'll tell you a story about a photograph I wanted to make for like 7 or 8 months, a fine art work. And I have drawn a sketch and I planned my colors. I bought my props. I knew exactly how I was gonna do it, but somehow I never ever got around. And then it's been on my to-do list, but I was actually postponing, pushing further. And yesterday I put it onto the to-do list. I made it a priority and I told myself that I'm not doing anything else today before I actually finish this work. So what do you think? It took me, I think, around 3 hours from start to finish when I brought my camera into the set and until I uploaded the final work onto the web. So after 8 months, it was just 3 hours. I have no idea why I haven't done it before. Well, it did require doing some funky things with the props, but it was not that difficult. But then I felt so accomplished that I did it. And this feeling is better than anything else, really. I'm super happy about the work itself because it came out the way that I really wanted it to be. And subscribe to my Instagram in order to not miss it. The good thing about this whole project is that I think that this photo really grew inside me during these 8 months, and I knew exactly how I wanted it to come out. I knew every single detail the image would have, and I made it in exactly this way. You know, this feeling when you absolutely know how you want it, how it's gonna look and sound, how it's gonna come out. And to be honest, as a result, I loved the entire process. I loved every single minute. Another similar story was with a piece that I wanted to play for 7 years. And since it's a big ensemble piece, somehow I didn't have the collaborators, and yeah, things just were not working out. There was no occasion to play it since it required several other musicians in the ensemble. But when I finally found the right people and we performed it, I was incredibly satisfied because I knew exactly how I was gonna play it. And yes, the musicians working with me were amazing. So we collaborated really smoothly, and I think the entire performance went really well. But I really loved the experience during the rehearsals, during the performance itself. And this piece was really different. I didn't need to rehearse it with them many times. I didn't need to run through a lot because I already knew how I was gonna do it. So the positive aspect of waiting is not just waiting, it's actually preparing mentally, somehow artistically inside. So the work is growing and then it comes out in the best possible way. But don't wait for too long, because those works are beautiful and they deserve to be out there in the world. Don't procrastinate. So yeah, my point is, you go extremely, crazily happy when you are engaged in the process that you absolutely love, enjoying every second. When you know for sure what you want to do and how you want it. Life is at its utmost value when you are immersed in the work that you love, in your most favorite projects, processes, something that you live and strive for. Of course, in order to start anything at all, the first step is visualizing it. Visualizing what you want and making it happen. I know, it sounds simpler than it probably is, but on the other hand, our brain tends to kind of overcomplicate so many things in reality. And some things are really simpler than they are in our head. I'm not saying that it doesn't require work. Of course it does. But what I mean is that this work is really doable. You know, even in the same profession, there can be different jobs and tasks. It can sound weird, but way too often there are cases when technically it's a profession you love, but it's not precisely the job you want. This is where things get complicated, because indeed you are working in your field, but you're not enjoying it, because this is not exactly what you want to do. Of course, hatred and anxiety don't help, but what does is thinking of a positive way through your situation at a given moment. So often, you're way closer to who you want to be and what you want to do than it seems. You feel like whatever it is you want to do is so far away, but in fact it might be standing just right in front of you. Another important catch that interferes with our personal journey is competing and comparing. This doesn't fully let us focus on our own thing. It's important to understand that for a creative, the only way that's gonna work is your way. It must come from the inside. So stop comparing, stop competing, be grateful, and let your creativity and inspiration boost. Think of what steps you're gonna take for your next project. Is it your first project? If it is, you might feel unsure. And I completely know the feeling, trust me. I've been there before. So break your goals into the tangible steps. The goals might seem so huge, but you can't get up there without taking every single step. Think of how you're gonna pull it off financially. Are you going to self-fund, borrow money, do crowdfunding, apply for grants? Write it all down. Know your options. Who you're gonna make it with. Where are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? You won't believe how immersed you're gonna be in the process very, very soon. And it's really worth every step of the way. If you're not gonna start, you will never get there. Is this life not precious enough to waste it on things you're sick of? Think about it. If you don't like what it is you're doing, you are most likely miserable, angry, and unhappy. And plus, you're making it difficult for those people around you. But when we start pursuing our dreams, we convert them into goals, we make them come true. We have this incredible energy within us that helps us and also inspires other people to go through life, do what they love, and be happy. Just a quick reminder that I am very thrilled to offer the consultations on organizing your artistic projects and planning your future as a creative. You can read about my experience as an artist, entrepreneur, and a creative director by following the link below. And there is also another link for the sign-up form if you would like me to take a look at things like your project descriptions, your grant applications, your budgets, your planning, and things like that. Thumbs up to this video if it was inspiring or thought-provoking or just interesting or helpful, and subscribe to this channel. I will see you in the next video. Stay inspired, be creative, be you. Bye!